You know, when you hear the word startup, a really highly specific image probably pops into your head.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost always software.
Right. You, as the listener, you're likely picturing this sleek, glass-walled office somewhere in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, maybe some venture capitalists throwing, millions of dollars at a team.
Exactly. Like a team building an app that, I don't know, delivers artisanal coffee straight to your door or something.
Right. Because that cultural shorthand for a startup, it's always all about rapid scale and massive disruption.
Yes, and high growth, aggressive revenue targets. But it rarely involves anyone, getting their hands dirty in the literal sense.
No, definitely not. It's usually consumer tech.
Which is why the proposal we were looking at for today's deep dive is so, jarring, but in the best possible way.
It really is a massive pivot from what you'd expect.
Because we are taking that hyper-aggressive startup framework and we're applying it to a collective of rural farmers.
Yeah, which is fascinating.
Right. Because when we usually talk about the rural agricultural sector, the conversation for you listening is probably centered around, a crisis.
Oh, almost entirely. It's agricultural distress, endless government subsidies.
Or charitable handouts. It's almost always framed as this tragic problem that just has to be managed rather than like a sleeping industry waiting to be disrupted.
Exactly.
But today, we're asking a fundamentally different question. What if the solution to rural agricultural distress isn't, more charity?
Right. What if the answer is treating these rural farming collectives exactly like high-growth, heavily professionalized corporate startups?
Yes. Treating them as corporate partners rather than just beneficiaries. It's a total radical reframing.
And it is incredibly timely, honestly, whether your interest lies in macroeconomics or social impact, or just understanding how massive systemic change actually takes root on the ground.
So today's Deep Dives is based on a proposal from a consortium called Best Care, and it outlines their Smart Rise program.
Specifically, we're looking at their Adopt an FPO initiative.
Right, and for anyone who might not, live and breathe agricultural policy acronyms, an FPO is a farmer-producer organization.
Yeah, basically, it's a collective of farmers who come together to pool their resources.
Theoretically, to get better prices and lower their costs, right?
Exactly. That's the baseline idea.
So our mission today is to explore this proposal and understand how a surprisingly small strategic investment from a corporate or charitable partner can completely transform these rural collectives.
And in doing so, potentially spark a much broader, social and economic revolution.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to understand how corporate support changes an FPO, we first kind of have to understand the baseline they were moving away from.
Right, you really need that context, because historically the FPO model, it's brilliant in theory,
Sure, farmers banding together for economies of scale.
Exactly, better bargaining power. But in practice, however, they often struggle immensely.
Yeah, the source material is pretty clear on that. What's the main bottleneck there?
It's a severe lack of professional management. I mean, you have organizations run by farmers who are absolute experts at agronomy and soil health.
Right, they know how to grow things.
Yes. But they aren't necessarily trained in running a complex corporate entity or managing multi-tiered supply chains.
Or negotiating B2B offtake agreements with massive food conglomerates, right?
Exactly. That is a completely different skill set.
And that structural gap, it seems to create this vicious cycle. Without this professional scaffolding, these collectives fall into what the text calls a subsidy-centric mindset.
Right, because they can't generate their own sustainable profit margins, they become dependent on external life support.
So the board of directors ends up spending all their time just chasing the next government grant.
Or the next charitable donation, just to keep the lights on rather than actually building a profitable business.
And operating in survival mode like that completely changes the psychology of an organization.
It does. The trajectory of a traditional FPO often just plateaus right there.
Which brings us to Best Care's proposal, because they attack that psychological bottleneck first.
Yes, they want to create what they call smart FPOs.
And their stated goal here, which I really want to highlight, is to take these community-backed rural collectives and turn them into profit-making entities capable of generating 10 crores in profit within 24 months.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
I have to admit, when I read that specific figure, I paused. Wait, generating 10 crores in just 24 months?
It's ambitious.
That sounds exactly like the pitch deck for a sauce company, not a rural farming collective that was previously struggling to buy seeds without a subsidy.
Right.
How do they bridge that massive gap? because that requires way more than just a pep talk.
What's fascinating here is the underlying philosophy Best Care uses to bridge that gap. They call it the democratic corporate model.
Democratic corporate, okay.
Yeah, they fundamentally restructure the governance and the stakes involved. And it starts with an intensive, rigorous 6-month incubation period called SmartRise.
And the entry requirements for an existing FPO to even be considered for this transformation are deliberately severe, right?
Oh, absolutely. The time commitment alone is massive. The board of directors must commit 100% of their time during this 6-month phase.
Wow. So this isn't a weekend seminar.
No, or a side hustle. It is a full-time, immersive corporate boot camp.
But the financial requirement is what really grounds this for me. Both existing and new board of director members must invest 1.0 lakh of their own personal money.
Yes, to purchase shareholdings in the FPO.
Asking a farmer in rural India to liquidate or invest 1 lakh rupees of their own hard-earned savings, that is an enormous ask.
It is, but it introduces absolute skin in the game.
Right.
Because when you are operating on a government grant or an NGO's donation, the financial risk feels abstract.
Yeah, if the collective fails, it's an unfortunate outcome, but you haven't lost your family's safety net.
Exactly. The moment a farmer puts their own capital into the equity of the collective, the psychology instantly shifts from beneficiary to entrepreneur.
It reminds me of the dynamic of just trying to organize a group dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely get a group of 5 friends to commit 20 bucks ahead of time to hold a reservation.
Ah, right.
Getting a board of rural farmers to risk a massive chunk of their life savings on a corporate transformation, that completely filters out anyone who isn't deadly serious.
That's the whole point. You are suddenly an investor. You are an owner actively driving toward a return on your investment.
Which really seems like the only foundation strong enough to support a 10 crore enterprise.
Precisely. And once you have that dedicated leadership team with serious skin in the game, ready to treat the collective like a real business.
That's when the organization is primed for external capital.
Yes. This is where the corporate or charitable partner steps in.
Okay, so let's break down that investment. Because I went into this document assuming we were building up to a massive multi-million-dollar corporate bailout.
A lot of people assume that.
Right. But the professional incubation fee required from the corporate sponsor to do this FPO adoption is just 60,000 rupees per month for those 6 months.
Yeah, just 60,000 a month.
That's a total of 3.6 lakhs. An investment of just a few lakhs over half a year acts as the seed capital to unlock a projected 10 crore revenue target.
And with the model designed to achieve break-even sustainability within the first year, yeah.
The ROI on what basically amounts to corporate pocket change is staggering.
It really is. I mean, a mid to large corporation wouldn't even blink at 3.6 lakhs for like a software license.
Right.
Let alone an investment that reshapes an entire regional supply chain.
So why should corporates care beyond just, it being cheap PR?
Well, we're seeing a major shift in how companies approach their obligations. Historically, corporate CSR, corporate social responsibility, often looked like traditional philanthropy.
Like building a village school,
Right.
or donating a few tractors.
Exactly, or handing out improved seeds. It was a one-way street of goodwill. But this model shifts towards sustainable ESG, environmental, social, and governance impact.
Which is deeply integrated into modern corporate strategy now.
Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that 60,000 a month isn't just being handed to the farmers as a bonus.
Right. It pays for the professional scaffolding we talked about earlier.
Exactly. It funds the experts who mentor, manage, and monitor the transition.
But I'm trying to picture what that actually looks like on the ground. The source mentions training in digital governance and implementing ERP enterprise resource planning systems. How does a complex ERP system function in the middle of a muddy agricultural field?
Well, it doesn't look like a Wall Street trading floor, that's for sure.
I would hope not.
A modern agricultural ERP is entirely mobile first. The incubation fee pays for experts to train local youth and board members to use specialized smartphone applications.
Oh, so it's all app-based.
Exactly. They track warehouse inventory, they log the distribution of organic fertilizers, manage individual farmer accounts.
So they're creating a digital paper trail for every transaction.
Yes. And it also trains the board on resource mobilization, like how to approach a commercial bank, present a clean balance sheet, and secure formal business loans.
Instead of relying on informal, high-interest money lenders.
Exactly. It professionalizes the whole operation.
Okay, so the corporate sponsor is essentially funding the creation of a highly organized, professionally managed supply chain partner that they can then do business with.
You nailed it. And the text notes that after the 6-month incubation, the partnership can evolve in a few ways.
Right. Corporates can make strategic equity investment to become lead promoters or engage in supply chain and offtake partnerships.
The proposal specifically mentions buyback guarantees for over 200 food and non-food products.
And providing a buyback guarantee to an FPO that now has an ERP system and professional governance that removes the massive market volatility that usually crushes small farmers.
It's a win-win. The corporate buyer gets a guaranteed, traceable supply of raw materials, and the FPO gets a guaranteed buyer.
It also mentions some corporate partners provide technology support, right? Like deploying specialized processing machinery.
Yeah, across multiple village clusters. It's comprehensive.
So the corporate money funds the incubation, the business expertise is transferred, the governance is locked in.
Right.
But the core activity is still farming. A fancy smartphone app and a clean balance sheet don't make crops grow faster, right?
No, they don't.
Or magically increase profit margins. So how does the FPO practically alter its day-to-day agricultural methods to generate these massive returns?
This is where we get into the operational core of the smart FPO model, because it requires a fundamental shift in the actual product being generated.
Okay.
It's not just about getting slightly better yields on wheat or rice. The text uses a fascinating term for this operational shift, Vrindavan-Graham integration.
I flagged that term too, Vrindavan-Graham integration,
Right.
because Vrindavan has such deep cultural and mythological resonance in India.
Right, as the village of Lord Krishna.
Exactly, representing this space of perfect harmony between nature, humanity, and specifically cattle.
Yes, and the proposal applies this ancient concept to create what they call rural bio-industrial hubs.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, because they are taking that cultural ideal of harmony with cattle and weaponizing it, in a good way, into a highly efficient industrial model.
Right, the outputs they generate are a complete reimagining of the agricultural value chain.
Exactly. Instead of treating cattle waste as an afterthought, they convert it into high-margin industrial products.
Like natural paint, bio-CNG, and biochar. Wait, natural paint from cattle waste.
Yeah, literal wall paint, but organic and non-toxic.
That is wild. It's like applying the logic of a modern meatpacking plant, where the old saying goes, they used everything but the squeal.
Right.
But doing it in a completely non-extractive, organic way with living cattle, every single output from the livestock and the land becomes an input for a new, high-margin product.
They are essentially running a bovine bioeconomy.
A bovine bioeconomy. I love that phrasing.
And that bovine bioeconomy is the engine of profitability. It creates an immediate, tangible benefit for the individual farmer called zero cost of cultivation, or zero COSI.
Zero cost of cultivation. How does that actually play out in a farmer's seasonal budget? Because, modern farming is incredibly expensive before a single seed even sprouts.
It really is. In conventional agriculture, a farmer's potential profit is devoured by external input costs.
Like chemical fertilizers and synthetic pesticides.
Exactly. And diesel. And these inputs are often tied to global supply chains, meaning a conflict on the other side of the world can cause the price of urea to spike.
Which completely wipes out a local farmer's margin.
Yes. But Vrindavan-Graham integration insulates them from that. By integrating livestock directly with natural farming, the byproducts of the cattle, the dung, and urine are scientifically processed on site
into high-quality organic fertilizers and pest repellents.
Exactly.
So they are essentially manufacturing their own inputs inside the village limits, completely severing their reliance on chemical companies.
Yes. And the source material explicitly states the result chemical input costs are reduced to zero.
Wow.
Which immediately boosts the farmer's disposable income by 30 to 50%.
30 to 50%. That is a staggering increase in take-home pay.
It is.
And achieved simply by eliminating the cost of growing the crops, regardless of what the final market price is.
Right, your floor is suddenly so much higher.
But if you are growing everything naturally, using these zero-cost methods, the immediate hurdle is proving it to a corporate buyer.
Oh, okay.
A massive food brand engaging in an offtake partnership cannot just take a collective's word that their supply is organic. They need verifiable data to protect their own brand.
Right, and this is where the digital proof of practice, or DPP framework, comes into play.
I was guessing this ties back to the smartphone training during the incubation period.
It relies entirely on that digital foundation. The DPP framework means every single step of the farming practice is logged and verified digitally.
How so? Like photos?
Yeah, a farmer or a local extension worker takes a geotagged, time-stamped photo of the biofertilizer being applied.
Oh, smart.
Soil health metrics are tracked. This creates a traceable, transparent framework that ensures food safety.
So because the FPO can digitally prove the purity of their products, they can command premium prices in those B2B agreements.
That's exactly. The corporate buyer gets a guaranteed clean supply chain, and the FPO gets top dollar.
The mechanics of this model interlock so perfectly.
They really do.
The psychological mindset shifts from subsidy to equity. The margins skyrocket because of zero cost of cultivation. The products are verified through digital frameworks, allowing them to secure those premium corporate contracts.
It's a closed loop of efficiency.
We've solved the economic math for the collective. But a village isn't just a corporate supply chain.
Yeah, it's a community.
Exactly. So when this level of organization and money starts flowing, what happens to the actual people living there?
This is where we move from a compelling business case to the catalyst for a genuine social revelation. The source material refers to this broader impact as Green Revolution 2.0.
Green Revolution 2.0. Because the first Green Revolution in the 20th century, it solved absolute calorie deficits, but it relied heavily on chemical inputs.
Right, which had long-term consequences. This second iteration addresses systemic national crises through technology and biology instead.
The proposal methodically connects the success of these smart FPOs to major macro-level issues, starting with health and food security.
By eliminating chemical inputs and focusing on climate-smart agriculture, these FPOs are ensuring a consistent supply of clean and good food.
And this goes far beyond just creating like a luxury market for organic produce, right?
Much further. It's framed as a direct intervention in the national health crisis, combating lifestyle diseases by improving nutritional outcomes directly at the soil level.
Wow. And then there's the energy sector impact.
Yes, because the bovine bioeconomy produces bio-CNG, which serves as a clean, decentralized fuel source.
So producing bioenergy at the village level reduces the nation's overall carbon footprint.
Exactly. While actively chipping away at import dependency for fossil fuels, agricultural waste is transformed into a strategic national asset.
But the social impact that really hits hardest for me, though, is about demographics.
You mean reversing migration?
Yes, reversing the trend of rural to urban migration by creating a monobar or self-reliant ecosystem.
It's arguably the most important outcome.
For decades, the dominant narrative for rural youth has been an exodus. A farmer's son or daughter often has to leave their village, migrate to an overcrowded urban center, and take a grueling, low-paying job.
Just because traditional farming isn't lucrative or respected anymore.
Exactly. But the smart FPO model changes the geographic distribution of opportunity.
By transforming the collective into a rural bio-industrial hub, you are creating high-value, dignified corporate jobs right inside the village.
Yeah, you are professionalizing rural youth and self-help groups. Because suddenly the village needs technicians to run the bio-CNG plant.
They need digital managers to oversee the ERP systems.
They need people to maintain the digital proof of practice logs. They need logistics coordinators for the B2B supply chains.
You don't have to flee to the city to find a corporate job anymore. The corporate value chain has been built in your backyard.
And bringing the economy to the village, rather than forcing the villager to chase the economy in the city, that fundamentally stabilizes the rural fabric.
When a young person can earn a professional salary, utilize modern technology, and maintain their dignity without having to abandon their community,
you actively reverse that deeply entrenched migration pattern.
It is a phenomenal cascade of effects.
It really is. So let's bring this all together for you listening. We started with the classic image of a tech startup and the assumption that massive growth requires massive venture capital.
Right.
But through this best care proposal, we've uncovered a totally different blueprint for transformation. We've seen how a surprisingly small, strategic corporate investment,
Just 60,000 rupees a month for half a year.
exactly, how that pocket change can act as the catalyst to completely rewire a struggling, subsidy-dependent farming collective.
By demanding actual financial skin in the game.
And providing professional corporate scaffolding, unlocking the zero-waste potential of a bovine bioeconomy.
Building a highly profitable, self-reliant rural bio-industrial hub.
It zeroes out the cost of farming, produces clean food and decentralized energy, and creates dignified local jobs that keep communities intact. So what does this all mean?
It forces a complete reevaluation of where innovation happens and who is capable of driving it. We've walked through the mechanics of how a brief period of professional incubation and relatively minor financial backing can empower local farmers to become the board members of 10 crore bioeconomies.
Which is incredible.
But the question we are left to consider is profound. If this works here, how much hidden potential is currently tracked in other marginalized communities all over the world simply because we continue to treat them as targets for our charity rather than recognizing them as vital partners for corporate innovation?